Write down what you love about yourself right now. All the great things about you right now, write them down. Hey guys, Vicki Lemons here and welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. I am so glad to have you here. So this video is a really special video. First off, let me say, excuse me for my nasalness. I'm getting over a cold. It's kind of lingering around, but that's neither here nor there. I still wanted to bring you this message. And it is that I am alcohol free for 1 year. If you are new to my channel, I talk about all things on this channel to help you become better, being the best version of yourself. Eliminating those things, those distractions that are keeping you from becoming the best version of yourself, that are keeping you from living your most authentic life, that are keeping you from becoming your most authentic self, finding your purpose, walking in your purpose, and being your true self along the way. So, and discovering who that is, using our past experiences to not dwell on, but to learn from, so that we can become better, grow into who we were created to be. So with that being said, a year ago I realized that I was just drinking excessively and it was just time to stop. And one way to figure out if what you're doing is too much, whether it's drinking, whether it's eating, whether it's smoking, whether it's shopping, whatever it is, go a few days without doing it and see how your body responds. So I went a year without doing it. Today is my 1 year anniversary. I don't really keep track, like today is day number 200 and whatever. I didn't focus on it like that because it wasn't something that that I needed to do personally, but I'll get more into that. So as I said, today is the day that I decided to quit drinking, this time last year. And it's been an interesting run, actually. I don't plan on drinking in the future, but if I wanted to, I would. I decided to stop drinking because I wasn't at my best doing so. And with the path that I'm on, me not being at my best, me not being my most authentic self is not who I choose to be anymore. I don't want to be that version of myself. And I don't want that story, that part of me, to be a story of my children's. I don't want that to be a chapter in their book. I want their book to be with me in the highest regard, not me being my least best self. So I just chose to stop and did not go to a rehab. I did not do any type of AA or anything like that. However, I would suggest that you analyze what you need to do for you. Don't focus on what anyone else is doing for them. This is the path I chose to take my journey, and you should choose the path best for you. For me, I was just being excessive in my drinking. I was drinking way too much and way too often. And it got to a point where I just said, this is enough. Where am I going with this? Like, one thing about me is when I do things, I do them well. Like I like to do things the right way, like get it, you know, I like to finish first. I like to do my best at everything. And one thing I didn't do is slack off on that either. I did my best at drinking and I succeeded at that, but it was a negative effect on my body. And so I wanted to give a few pros and cons of how my journey has been, and also just to reiterate some of the things that I did to help me stop. Because whether you consider yourself an addict or not, if you've done something, anything for a long period of time, you've created a habit. So if anything else, you've created a bad habit. And in order to stop that bad habit, you have to do things to make sure you don't, to make sure you can stop, to make sure you can progress in a positive way away from that habit. So how did I stop? I just stopped. I had a conversation with my husband and my children, and we talked about how You know, my drinking had been excessive in a period of time. And let me clarify. I wasn't falling down drunk. I wasn't like, well, I've had my moments, but I wasn't like a mean drunk. I wasn't like someone who you wouldn't know. I was a functioning excessive drinker. And 90% of the time you wouldn't know. It's that 10% of the time where I took things a little too far. And in those moments, I wasn't my best self. I wasn't who I would want someone to remember me by. And I didn't want to be that person anymore. So I sat down with my children, who I don't hide anything from, as well as my husband, and I told them this. At that point, I had already been drinking that day, and so I said, this is the last day I will drink. I won't drink anymore. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know how hard it's going to be, but this is what I'm choosing to do. And of course, they were 100% supportive. And that's what I did. And in addition to that, I listened to this hypnosis video at night, and I laughed because if you know me, you know that I don't listen to hypnosis anything like thinking that it's going to hypnotize me. That's not how I roll. But I listened to this video, John Moyers, and I've posted about this before, and you can look in this video, but I'll put the link below to the one that I listened to, the specific one, and it helped me. Like, I know that there are people who stop drinking and they can't be around other people who drink. And I know there are people who stop drinking and they still crave it. They want the drink. I really believe this video did something to my psyche because I don't get the urge to drink anymore. I don't get the urge to like just pick up a glass, and I don't get the urge at all. Almost like someone who's never had it but no interest in it either. And I really believe that that video is what did it. I listened to it at night before I went to bed. I made sure I was really sleepy and I put it in my headphones. And I might have listened to it a couple times, but I really believe that that video is what helped me. Like, just I can be around it. It doesn't bother me. The smell just kind of does something to me. Like, it makes my stomach turn. I don't get the urge for it anymore. So that's a pro. That's a positive. And that's one of the things I do believe has helped in my being able to stop and not like look back. I move forward and not look back. Something that I have had to deal with since I've stopped drinking is my emotions, especially in the beginning. I'm already an empath. I'm already someone who's very intuitive and in tune to their feelings and their emotions. I'm an INFJA, so I'm very in tune to who I am and my emotions, and just my intuition is very strong. There's something that alcohol does chemically to your brain. I'm not a scientist, or I'm not well versed in that form of knowledge. However, I do know enough to know that there's something that certain drugs, alcohol, things alter the chemical imbalance in your brain. And for me, the main thing I saw with that was my emotions. Sometimes I would just bust into tears, felt overwhelmed, felt like I didn't know what to do, how to express. But what I've learned to do in those moments is say exactly how I feel. So even if it makes the person I'm saying it to upset, it makes them upset. It's not my problem how they receive how I'm feeling at the moment. I need to worry about me at that moment and getting how I feel out, because what has happened over a period of time, a long time, right? People who drink, people who smoke and whatever, people who do things to suppress. You've suppressed for so long, you don't know how to just get it out and get it out in a way that makes you feel better. So the thing I've learned to do is just get it out. And if I have to say, I can't do it all right now, everyone thinks I'm a slave in this house, I feel like I'm the only one doing whatever I feel at the moment, I say it. And I say it out loud. And I cry and whatever I need to do at that moment. And then I write. I write down how I'm feeling too. To kind of process what just happened. Why do I feel this way? What triggered it? What triggered it? Because a lot of time when you think about someone who uses or drinks or smokes, the triggers are what push you to go want to do that thing. You know, whether it's anxiety, whether it's stress, whatever it is. And for me, I feel like I was always trying to get things done for everyone. And it was stressful. And then I was suppressing my own feelings of me not being who I was created to be. So then when I stopped drinking and I started this whole path of recreating my life, I realized that I was just drinking to suppress my mediocrity. I wasn't living the life I was created to live, so I was drinking to make me feel numb so that I wouldn't be so it wouldn't bother me so much, right? It would just like whatever, and then I would just continue with my day to day. And about 6 months into me not drinking, that's when I realized I was drinking because I was bored. I was bored with life. I was bored with where I was with me as an individual with life. I have a great, wonderful life. Husband, children, beautiful family, beautiful home. I have a wonderful life and I'm very thankful for that. But the business of me, the person that is me, the person inside of me that should have been flourishing, felt dead inside. She felt not fulfilled. And that's the part of me that alcohol was medicating. So another thing is intimacy. Once I stopped drinking, I realized that I couldn't even remember a time where my husband and I had been intimate and I hadn't been drinking, aside from having my children, you know, being pregnant. The pro and the con about that is, the con is, damn, I don't even remember the last time I was intimate with my husband without being under the influence somehow. I'm not saying I was drunk, but I'm saying maybe I had a glass of wine before we went to bed or whatever. Like, I just don't remember not having something. And so that's the con. And also a con is I lost out on so many moments of experience with us being authentically us, you know. And so the pro is now we are rediscovering each other and rediscovering what each other likes, and because now I'm older too, right? And so you take, you know, being under the influence, you know, my 20s and my 30s and into my 40s, and now I'm in my 40s. So not only am I not under the influence anymore and getting in tune to who I am, I'm also not in my 20s and my 30s anymore. I'm a completely different woman. So we are having fun with exploring, and that help us build a new connection, a new beginning for this journey, because it is a journey and it is a process, but it hasn't been as hard of a transition as I thought it would be, and it's really been an extremely beneficial thing for me to do for our family. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing that could maybe help you. I don't do like mocktails. I don't do things like that because I have no need to. As I said, because I listened to those videos, I really think that they just took the urge away from me completely. I have no urge to whatsoever. It's almost like if you saw someone eating a food you never tried, but it don't look good, and you're just kind of like, nah, I'm good. That's just kind of like how I feel. Like, nah, I'm good. One thing I will say is, When I was a drinker, I never really ate sweets because there's something about, if you know, you know, something about drinking and sweets, they just kind of don't go together. I was more savory and not really a big eater, but, you know, and not a huge, and I wouldn't eat a lot. I would drink more than I would eat. But since I stopped drinking, what I realized is that there's two things. Number one, you have to be careful for cross addictions or cross excessive behaviors, because it's the thing in your brain, dopamine, that makes you want that same feeling. And for me, that came by way of sugar. And I'm working on that now. It's always something, right? But I will say watch out for cross habits, because what we do is we stop one and then we pick up another, because our bodies are used to that dopamine, that feeling of excitement, that feeling of pleasure. One thing I'm working hard on now is stopping myself from developing any negative habit, any habit that will affect me negatively. So if I see myself building into a pattern of something, I stop myself and say, I see what's going on here. I'm very aware of my behavior, and I'm very aware. It was crazy because in the first few months, there was the time of the days that I would drink. My body was used to that. So every day, it's crazy, every day at say 10 o'clock, my body would be used to going out and going to the store. So what I was doing was going out and going to a store, just not the liquor store. So then I had to stop that. I had to, like, I would just go shopping. So it was just my body still doing the same thing, but not the same thing. But I had to stop that behavior because I'm still exhibiting the same pattern. So for the most part, in the beginning especially, I had to break a lot of those type of patterns. So if I was cooking and drinking, which was all the time, a glass of wine while I'm cutting up my vegetables, that was a hard thing in the beginning, like just the habit thing. I didn't want the urge to drink. It was, what do I do with that hand? You know, like it was, and even when I would go out at 10 o'clock, I didn't have the urge to drink, but my body still wanted to go do something at that time of day. And so what I should have been doing is getting on the treadmill, but that's not what I did. So, but anyway, that's something that I've gotten out of this journey, is that be careful for the cross excessiveness or cross addictions, however you want to classify what you're going through. I don't classify mine as an addiction because I don't feel like I have an addiction. I feel like I exhibited excessive behavior. I developed a really bad habit that was killing me, basically. So I'm very careful about how I choose to identify, and if you choose to identify whatever way you do for you to get through your journey in your process, you do what you have to do. This is me. If I choose to have a drink in 6 months, that's what I will do. If I choose to not to, that's what I won't do, because I stopped because I saw in myself something was doing too much. And so I stopped. And in me stopping, I realized that it was a good thing for me to stop, because number one, our bodies don't need it. I don't need to drink to have fun. I don't need to drink to go to sleep. I don't need to drink to ease my nerves. I don't need to drink to cook, okay? And if you're struggling with whether you feel like you are excessive or however you want to identify, maybe you think you're addicted, stop. See if you can just stop. Stop for 30 days and see how your body responds. If you can't stop for 30 days, then try 7. If you can't stop for 7, then it's probably time to maybe talk to someone or, you know, stop completely. Now, one thing I will say I had to do for me was therapy. Because I'm so emotionally intellectual, it's hard for me to communicate with people and feel like they completely understand, because a lot of times people are processing it from their level of understanding. But when it's someone like myself, this might be you as well, where I've already self-reflected, I've already done the work, I've already thought about it and wrote about it, and I've already analyzed it until I can't analyze it anymore. So your basic understanding, I don't need that. I don't need that. I need someone to help me think, like analyze on a deeper level. And so that for me helped with therapy. And that's actually where I got the tip to just write down exactly how I feel. Which you would think, because I'm an author, that would be my first thought is, you know, let's write down everything I'm feeling. But it wasn't. And that's what my therapist suggested at the time. She said, you know, when you're in that moment and you feel overwhelmed and you feel, you know, frustrated, write down exactly how you feel. And that's what I did. And that helped tremendously. And then I could go later. Sometimes it wouldn't even be for weeks later. I would say to my husband, can I read something to you? Because I knew at those moments where I wrote it, he wasn't ready to receive it. Because it would be so heavy, like heavy of emotion, you know. And I did. So I would wait. I would just wait. And I just kept a little book. So that was really, really helpful. And if you're on a journey of stopping drinking, stopping smoking, stopping shopping, whatever you're on the journey or path to do, I would just encourage you to stay strong in your why. Why are you doing it? What do you want to gain from stopping? Okay, for me, I spread inspiration, I spread motivation, I help people through the things that they may not have that they may not be able to do on their own. And I don't want, when I speak, for my messages to come across in a way that feels, I have to be very careful about how I'm allowing my messages to come out, the vessel that they're coming out of. And do I want them to come from a clear, focused mind, or do I want them to come from a mind-altered state of mind, right? So and also, as I said earlier, I don't want that to be a part of my children's story. I don't want them to think that it's okay to excessively drink or to excessively smoke or to excessively shop or whatever it is. I want them to understand that when you realize that things are getting out of control, it's okay to take everything, get it together, see what you need to do, get the help you need, and move forward, right? Not just stay stuck in it. And so that's my why, and that's why I continue, because I have focus, I have purpose, I have things that I need to do, and I don't need anything altering my mind to keep me from doing it. And so what's your why? Why do you need to stop? Why do you want to stop? How is stopping going to help you? And write those things down, and then go back to those things and refer back to those things in the moments where you feel like, oh, I'm good. I don't need to stop anymore. I'm good. Look at that paper and say, am I really good? This journey is 100% about being honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, with where you are and who you are at that very moment and who you want to become. So, as always, guys, I hope this video has helped. Hooray for me, 1 year alcohol free. I feel great. I feel amazing, other than this belly I need to get rid of now. But I feel great. I feel clear in my head. I feel clear in my spirit. I've done the work internally. And if you're following me along on my other journey, I'm doing the work right now physically. And I am praying that if you are watching this and you are struggling with anything, that you take a hold of that thing and say, not no more, not me. You tried to destroy me, but you can't. You tried to destroy me, but I'm still here. You can't have me. It couldn't have me, right? So, 1 year alcohol free, go me. I'm so proud of myself. If you're celebrating something like that, or some sort of anniversary for stopping something that was hurting you or harming you, put the comments down below. I would love to celebrate along with you. As always, guys, I thank you for watching, and God bless.